of the Wednesday or the Thursday I went down to Bobbin and got another train, but this one was a cheap train, it wasn't expensive. I think it's actually near the same price as this locomotive actually from eBay. So I got a good bargain, and don't worry, I didn't break my bank. It does certainly had left a crimp on it, but I certainly didn't empty it from doing this, which is quite nice because I wouldn't do this too often. I wouldn't do this too often at all, to buy a huge quantity of trains like this, but it's just the odd occasion and I fancy doing it. I have got in plans for another HST in plan for after Christmas, all being well. So yeah, there's some history on the back of this locomotive. If you want to pause the video, and you can. Some history there of the class of 0F. I'm assuming that's the strength of this particular locomotive. The class is 20, was it 21? 21 class PUG, I don't know what that means. I think it's a particular type of shunting type locomotive was designed for pulling a designed for like mixed traffic, like freight, passenger, maybe to hold maybe for the yard design. So yeah, pretty cool fancy box. As I said, I got this from Bobbin Central. If you haven't been to Bobbin Central, definitely recommend looking in the shop. They don't have a huge quantity of variety of trains in model form, but they do have some trains in there, and I just particularly picked this one up because you're seeing it's a block of ice. But yeah, I basically picked this up because it was affordable and, you know, it looked nice. I wouldn't say that too often about the locomotives I generally buy, but for a little shunter like that, it doesn't look too bad. And, you know, the price was reasonable for what I paid for it, so it wasn't too bad in the end. So yes, this is the classification for this particular type of locomotive by Hornby. They got a bit of an issue at the moment with the company, but Sam's Trains has already covered that for me, so I don't have to mention it. And the exploded diagram of the locomotive, how to remove the body shell, wow. So yeah, it is a really old-fashioned ring form motor, isn't it? Wow. that little thing in the centre underneath the cab, that's where the motor is. That is an old ring form motor for a particular type of pug. And I know a lot of people say they're not the most reliable models, but I can't say that because I never had a pug. This is my first time having one. So look how tiny it is. I mean, it looks like this train here is like a smart car version of this thing. It's incredible. But look how tiny it is. It's so cute. I'm getting overexcited. Okay, what we got? We got some detail of a guy pointing. I had a look at this. I did test, just quickly mention that I did test to make sure it works. Every loco I had already arrived. The last two haven't arrived yet. I haven't tested them because they're not here yet. But we got a guy who's pointing towards someone. I would assume him for like, because on heritage lines they have these little hoops that they pick up from the signal tower where they change the points. I was assuming it's something to do that, where they put the signal things on the hand and they pass it on to the driver. So that could be what that could be. We've got some lamps. We've got some the covers for the lamps. I don't think this thing's got any lights in it, but we'll have a look. As I said, I haven't run any of my trains in, but I'm going to be doing it in this video and over the weekend as well. So I'm going to let them all run in and put them up in the new siding I already put together yesterday, so hopefully they'll be alright in there. Yeah, there's detail. I won't open them up because I'd rather do that in a later date. Once my populate's built, I'll take a proper look at that later on. I'd rather just get this locomotive opened and run in and see how it performs basically. So this is just, as I said, it's the smaller version of the haul I was originally going to do, because obviously the last two locomotives are still waiting to turn up. Haven't been shipped out yet. I'm still waiting them to turn up. So the last two unboxings I got to do when they last lot arrive, which probably will be at the beginning of next week, but I won't be filming until the Wednesday or the Thursday of that week. Monday I'm busy seeing one of my friends' family, which I have never met before. So I got that. So and I got my council on Wednesday. So yeah, I got a lot of things to do. Maybe I'll film on Tuesday. But look at this thing. Yeah, very tiny and cute. So let me say, there's no buffers at all. But look how tiny it is. You wouldn't think this thing is N-gauge, would you? But it's 00. It's not N-gauge. It's a completely 00, but it looks like N-gauge. It's really strange. There is some cab detail in there. I'm just going to show you. Because inside the middle door, it's really raining today. But the ground needs it, so I'm not going to complain about it. We have got some details on the cab. Not a lot, but a little bit of cab detail on the underframe and around the back for the lamp irons. And they put these tiny little frosted glass windows around the cab, which is supposed to make it realism as possible, which is really cool. Yeah, so that is the running number, 5127. I'm assuming that was the classification of the locomotive at its time. So mostly I got steam, but I did get one of these throughout the collection, but as I said, mostly it was steam. I'm still waiting for my last two steam trains to come in, to being delivered. My last two are a pannier and the last tender engine, which again still waiting to arrive. So I'm waiting for a panniers to arrive and another tender engine to arrive. But you'll see them later in the week, I think, when they arrive, which will be towards the end of June. Could be in the beginning of July, depending on how long it takes to arrive. Yeah, pretty cool and cute, isn't it? As I said, this was one I bought from Bodmin Central, so very cute and cool. I want to see how well it runs later on the second half of the video. Moving on, this is a bigger Loco, and it's also by Halgem. One of the only ones I got of that collection on eBay of Halgem, and it's surprisingly, because I was thinking of getting a Halgem for a while. I do have one Halgem model. I'll show you later in the video, but I do have one on my lap already. But this is a newer one and it's a different model. So what we got? We got, here we are, Class 58 by Halgem. In Halgem, it always says Halgem. It's 00 obviously, of course. But look at the fancy packaging. You can, move properties with this box and it won't get bashed around while you're in transit. It's really safe. Maybe it looks too sturdy, but I'm not going to complain because it means it will last. It will last you a long time. So here's get the memory foam bit of protection packaging off, and here's the classification of the Class 58 in EWS. Here it is. There's a classification of history of the Class 58 from 1970. It was replaced from the Class 56 First introduced blah blah 1970 to 1982. That's when it was first introduced. I haven't checked if there's any more emails come through. No. It's all fine then. But yeah, there's just all the clarification history on this. But as again, it's one of my new for my collection for this year, for 2022. As I said, I got a big side novel for them to run. So display the diagram of the class. Yeah, it looks complicated, but at least it tells you where all the detail parts are, and it tells you where everything is, and it gives you a best of hips and tints of telling you how long to run it in for. The last class of its kind finished in 2002, so and I was quite little. What have we got now? Some accessories for a couple, and that's the model which I'll bring out in a moment for you. There's the class of the accessories for the class 58. I don't think there's any due parcels today, because postman didn't bring any, so, and all my parcels came with Royal Mail recently, so I don't expect it'll be them again today. They've done all their bit for now. Until Monday, I expect they'll probably arrive on Monday, the final two. So here it is, the Class 58 in EWS. Pretty cool in its brown livery. Here's the front of one of the ends of the 58. They are a bit strange in design, but I think they're pretty cool. I don't know what their nickname was originally, but they did have odd nicknames for the 58s. But